1, 2, 3, 4. Three, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, everyone out there in Mandolin land, Mike Heading here. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We're going to work on the great old Christmas hymn this week, Angels We Have Heard on High in the Key of A. This is one of my favorite Christmas hymns. It always gets me into the mood for Christmas, and it has a great old melody, and we're going to work on playing it two ways. We're going to do a slow kind of more double, triple stop version using a bunch of harmonies, and then we're going to do kind of an up-tempo bluegrass style solo. So this sounds great played slow or fast. We're going to break down both solos note for note, just like I played at the beginning of the lesson. I'll show you the left hand, the right hand needed to play the song, and then we'll break down some backup. So I added a couple extra chords to this version just to spice it up a little bit, and it makes a good backup lesson as well. We're going to learn the chords down the neck and then some up the neck chop chords for the bluegrass version. You know, F sharp minor, B minor, D, E. We're going to do a couple more chords for this one, so this will be a good chord lesson as well. All right, enough talking. Let's get into it. Here's Angels We Have Heard on High in the Key of A. All right, so let's start breaking down this slow version of Angels We Have Heard on High in the Key of A. First, let's just jump into the A major scale. We'll do a quick review to make sure we got the notes down, and then we'll start breaking down the melody. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to basically use 2 octaves. So this is a good practice on this lesson. So we're going to start on the 2nd fret of the G string down with my index finger. So that's our A note, that's our root note. And then we have the 4th fret with our middle finger on the G string. And then the 6th fret with your ring finger, good stretching practice. And then either the 7th fret with your pinky or the open next string up, the D string. It should be the same note if you're in tune. So you have 2, 4, 6, and then open, or 2, 4, 6, 7, same note. And then you do the exact same thing up on the next string. You do 2, 4, 6, either 7 or open, right? Okay, so that's the low octave. And then to do it the next octave up, if you play that, you can either play the 7th fret, like I said, or the open A string. And then we have open, 2, 4, and then this time the 5th fret instead of the 6th fret. And then we do the same thing on the next string up, open, or the 7th fret, like I said. And then 2, 4, 5. So the open A major scale in the high octave is pretty easy. It's just open, 2, 4, 5, open, 2, 4, 5. So that's the notes we're going to use, okay? So let's start down in the low octave, and this is kind of the verse part of the song. So let's just do the basic melody, and then we'll look at adding the harmonies, okay? So the basic melody is going to start up on the 6th fret of the G string, the lowest string, with your ring finger, and you're going to play that note 3 times. And and then the second fret on the D string, twice, and then open, and then the sixth fret on the G. So you have do that a few times. And then you do sixth fret, fourth fret on the G, 6, second fret on the D string, 6 on the G, 4, 2. So you have so that whole part sounds like this. That's kind of like the verse, the opening verse melody in its most basic form, okay? One more time. Okay, so now let's look at spicing that up. So because the song is slower, I'm going to add some more harmonies just to fill it up. So we're going to do some 3-string kind of chords, double stops. I guess they'd be triple stops because we're playing 3 notes. But basically what we're doing here is just filling up the sound. This wouldn't work on a faster tempo because there'd be too many overtones, but it works good on a slow tempo. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start with, let's just kind of work out of the chord shape that we're going to use. We're going to put our ring finger on the 6th fret of the G string, our index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then we're going to use our middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and we're going to kind of hammer on from 4 to 6. So it'll sound like this. And then I'm playing all 3 strings. You can even hit the high E string. I don't have that listed in the tab, but you could. So I'm just doing a hammer on with essentially a strum. And then we just hit that 3 times. So you have that hammer on just kind of adds a vocal quality where you're sliding into the note. So like that. And then we play the D, A, and E string with that note down. Your 2nd fret on the D string still down. So you have. So again, we're just filling up that melody of. Now we're going. Good string practice with your right hand, and then measure 2. We're just going to go back to single notes for a second. 2nd fret. And then an upstroke on the open D. And then back to that opening chord position we use, 6, 2, and open. We're going to use that a lot. It's like an A chord. So we're going, in measure 2, we're going 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and... That's why I'm doing that open D string with an upstroke. That's going to help me play that timing. So it's a dotted quarter note, which is 1.5 times a normal quarter note. So it's a quarter note plus an 1/8 note. So that's why we have 1, 2, and then a half note, 3, 4. So let's play that opening 2 measures. We have. And then we do that hammer on again. And then back down to the second, 4 and 2. So you basically just take your ring finger off. And then you put it back down. And then 2nd fret on the D. Back to that A chord, strum. And then go back to 4 and 2 and do an upstroke. And then down to 2 and 2. And I kind of just mash my first finger down. That's like another A chord. So you have. So you have 1, 2, and 3, 4. Measures 4 and 2 have the same count. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So let's do those opening 4 measures. Here we go. And if for any reason you feel like you're not hearing enough of the melody, just go back to the single notes. You can always just revert back to the single note melody too, right? Right? So then we're going to go up and now play that same melody in another octave. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then do a 2/4 hammer-on right here with our first and second finger now hitting the open high E strings. We have so the melody in its most simplest form is now the 4th fret, high E string, E again, 5th fret on the A, so that's the same as this. Now we're going up another octave. So the only difference is we're just hammering on into that and then using the high E just to fill it up. So we have hammer on again, down to the 2nd fret, 4th fret, high E, hammer on, 2nd fret. So it's almost easier to play it a little faster. It's almost harder to do it really slow because you kind of hear those individual notes of the 2 strings. When you play it a little bit faster, it kind of blends it together a little bit more. So you have it's the same exact count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so that's the verse melody. One more time, I'll do the upper octave. It's good wrist angle practice there too. You need to be able to have that high E string ring out while you're playing notes on that A string, right? That can be tricky, but that means you have to make sure you're not back too much like this, right? That's going to make it a lot harder. So make sure you have that correct wrist angle. You can do little exercises like that where I'm just doing it down on the A string and then an up on the E. And then just walking up those notes. Open, 2, 4, 5. That's just good practice to make sure you're at the correct angle so you can get all those notes to ring out. This is a good song to really practice your tone. And it's totally fine to kind of keep your hand moving during those, so see how I'm kind of just keeping my hand moving there, my right hand. I basically like to keep my right hand moving in rhythm even if I'm not touching the strings. I basically just take my hand off the strings and kind of keep moving. Okay? So that's the opening verse in 2 octaves, right?